do a couple things today. I wanted to give you some tips about the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show and some updates on what I'm doing. So first of all, the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, which is on the second Saturday in July every year, is the largest outdoor quilt show. And I know you guys all know that, right? Yeah. So, what that means is that the quilts go up in the morning by an army of volunteers and come down in the late afternoon by those same volunteers. It takes literally a village to pull this show off in one day. I know a lot of people worry about the weather. We live in what's called mountain country, and rarely have we had any rain. And I think maybe a couple of times we've had rain, but it's always in the afternoon, rarely in the morning. And so what happens is if for some reason it starts raining, the quilts all come down. And that's a sight to see in and of itself. But we always just continue on our merry way, and it all seems to be just perfect. And you see the best in people that day. It's kind of fun to kind of walk around and listen to other people's comments because, there's those judgmental quilters or there's those purist quilters. Everybody's welcome to this show, but it's fun to hear their comments. And I especially like standing around one of my quilts and hearing someone say, "Oh my," either in a positive way or a negative way. It's just always interesting. And it is the one show where everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame. It's not judged by whether your binding is full enough or your quilting is perfect. You get a ribbon. You get a participation ribbon, which is awesome. But the things you should know are the firemen. First of all, the firemen start hanging quilts on the side. The employee challenge for the Stitch and Post gets hung on the side of the Stitch and Post building starting at 7 a.m. on Quilt Show Day. And that's like this awesome event. It's you get to watch these firemen climbing up and down on the ladder. The fire truck ladder comes and they hang the quilts on the side, and Sally Fry or someone's out, Colleen is yelling at them to make it straight, or yes, they know quilters want their quilts to look good. And so that's a must-see. So even though the show officially doesn't start to maybe 9 or 9:30, you really want to be here to see that at 7. The other thing is it's best to start early because you just don't know whether you're going to handle the heat or whether it's cold that day. We never know. We are forever hopeful. And so we usually start at the 7 a.m., and they close the highway through town, literally, and so you can walk down the center of Cascade. And then the quilts are hung on all the outside of the businesses along the 3 main streets, plus all the side streets. You go behind the Stitch and Post, because naturally you're going to go shopping to the Stitch and Post, but you go behind the Stitch and Post is usually where the information booth is, and you can pick up you can ask a volunteer where your quilt is if you have a quilt hung there, and then you naturally want to see that. You want to see your quilt in all its glory, and that's where you would find out. There's also tables set up back there where different teachers or quilt book authors have scheduled times where they might sign their books, to get quilt show memorabilia, and naturally you want to, since you've traveled all this way, you want to walk through that Stitch and Post because even now they have it all set up with new samples and new products come in. It's just awesome. So you're going to want to do that. Be sure you plan for mountain weather. That means you have to have something in case it's a little bit chilly in the morning, and you have to be able to strip down when it's hot. If it gets a little warmer, not down to the bikini, mind you, or the thong. No, we really don't want to see that. But you want to have layers. So be prepared dress-wise. Always drink water. You do not realize, not only is Central Oregon a much drier climate, we rarely have what's called a humidity index. And so you get thirsty quickly. And you'll see kids pulling wagons behind them selling bottles of water for $1. And the real estate offices on Cascade will have glasses and a water dispenser. You're going to want to drink some water whenever you can. Have snacks tucked in your pocket. But you're going to want to try some local fare here. And there are a variety of restaurants that you can eat. Also, we have food carts have arrived. So over by Eurosports on Hood Street is a little food cart place. There's a food cart over on Main Street by the Belfry. There's breakfast that's served at one of the churches in town. So you're going to want to keep track of all of that. But you're going to want to have some snacks in your pocket. The other thing is you're here. So you want to go visit all the unique shopping that is what Sisters is about also. And on the main Cascade, you'll know this shop because it has all the wind. There must be like 300 wind things for your garden spinning there. You're going to want to go in there because I'm telling you, I think they're the ones that sell those kerchiefs that inflate when you put them in water. And they sell them, they already inflated in cold buckets of water. So if it's a warm day, you tie one of those around your neck and you cool right off. And then when it gets kind of warm, you flip it over and you cool back off again. I wear mine every year. I just love that thing. But there's lots of gift items. We have lots of gift shops. There's the Sisters Distillery. If you decide you need a drink, or a sample, you can go to the distillery. There's Three Creeks Brewing. There's just so many unique things. If you want tea instead of coffee, there's Subtle Tea down at the one end of town. And naturally, don't forget, 11:30 on Quilt Show Day, I'm doing a meet and greet for quilt roadie people who just want to get together a little bit at Fika Coffee, which is on Sun Ranch Drive. So it's on the detour road that takes you around the outskirts of Sisters. It's in the city limits, but it's on one edge. And so if you follow that detour route from the roundabout, you'll see Fika Coffee. And I just love my quilt hanging in there. So 11:30 on Quilt Show Day. Let's see, what else can I say? Art Station on Adams Street. You're going to want to go there. Kathy Deggendorfer, who is this year's poster artist and has a whole line of fabric, has a display and a fun thing going on at the Art Station, and you'll know that building because of the big red 2-story building with the campers. And then Habitat for Humanity opened their new shop, and I'm telling you, you've never seen a Habitat for Humanity shop like this one. They have a whole sewing section. They have a whole bookstore section in it, and that's right on Cascade. So there's lots for you to do here, and just take your time. Don't try to rush in and rush out. If you are a picnicker that wants to bring your lunch and picnic, when you come early to town, you're going to want to park at the Village Green. And that's the park in the center of town. And you want off of Jefferson. And I always parked at the south side of the park because of the way the sun rotates around the park. And then you can go get your picnic lunch and spread out your quilt on the grass and get your toes cooled off in the cool grass. It's right across from the fire station, and have your picnic lunch there. You know. Other than that, if you want to stop and see a movie, you could. We have the best movie house in all of Central Oregon. You can eat and drink in that movie theater, and so there's just a lot of fun things to do. And then if you stay until Sunday, that is fabulous. It is a Save It for Sunday event. It's at Five Pines, which is kind of at the south end of town as you're going to Bend, by the movie theater and Three Creeks Brewing is Five Pines. It's a lodge and convention center area, and there'll be a featured quilter, and her quilts will be hung in the forest. Carolyn Freelander is that quilter, and they'll be hung in the forest, and you can get tickets for like a walking tour or her lecture. And it's a beautiful event on Sunday. So I think, I keep thinking of one more thing. Don't forget to see the Prince exhibit, and that's in the community room at the firehouse. You'll want to see that. That's the Cherrywood exhibit. Otherwise, be sure you pick up a flyer. There are volunteers stationed at a lot of the corners that can answer questions or help you. They are the ones that kind of keep an eye on the quilts. And in that flyer, we'll tell you where all the special exhibits are, because there are some special groups that are grouped together. Their quilts are grouped together, and that's always fun to see. Let's see, what else can I say about the quilt show? I could talk for hours about the quilt show. We're 43 years. I mean, it's truly amazing. It's a bucket list item. And if you're thinking about coming next year, you should make a reservation this year if you want to stay in the area. Although there's a lot of campgrounds around in this area. Depending on what you want to stay, where you want to stay. And they've built a new motel here in town. There's just all kinds of fun things going on during that time. So I hope you are able to come, and if not, put us on your bucket list for the next time. So I've gotten a couple of questions about Primitive Gatherings Block of the Week. And so I just thought I'd share with you what I'm doing. Which half the time I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm having a good time doing whatever I'm not sure what I'm doing. I could write a book about that. How not to stress about not knowing what you're doing when you're doing it. I could be on Oprah talking about that. Yeah, I think so. Well, this is how I'm approaching the block of the week, because I am by no means the queen of block of the week. Maybe for how many I have around here, but not for really completing everything. But this is what I did. I'm not stressing about getting the block of the week stitched before the next one comes, nor am I even stressing about getting it stitched before a month is done. But what I decided to do and how I decided to approach it is, when I get a package, and I just got this package, this is block 3 that just came in today, is I open it up. I hold it, I open it up, and I let it spark joy as I bring it out. Because in the past I've opened it up and started screaming, what the heck am I doing? But no, I'm embracing this block of the week. Yes. What a bunch of BS. Anyway, whatever. But the way I've decided to approach it is, and let me put an addendum. This is by no way, blah, 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 blah. By no way is this is how Lisa would do it. Because I saw in the first one I received, it said, don't starch your flannel. And then I knew, it's a good thing I'm doing this on my own because I'd be in trouble if I was in class. Not that I starch the flannel, but I do it entirely different. So don't necessarily do it the way I'm doing it unless you don't care. Then I'd say, do it exactly the way I'm doing it. So I took out all the flannel because she sent you the background material with block 1. And I read the instructions and I covered the entire piece of flannel with SF101 with the Pellon product that I use, because I cannot stand the way flannel and wool background kind of flops around and gets stretched out, and it makes me, there must be a special medication for quilt stress. But anyway, maybe that's chocolate. Maybe I should stress myself out and have some chocolate. Well, anyway, I put the Pellon product, the SF101, across the entire piece of flannel on the back, and I fused it to it. And then I cut my squares out exactly like she said. So I have all of my background squares all ready to go. See, they got the SF101 on the back and the flannel, and they're so neat and tidy, and they're all ready for when I get each block. So I have prepped 2 blocks, not stitched them yet because I'm going to wait until my next road trip, and then I'm going to take this. I have a camping trip coming up at the end of July, and then I'm going to take this on the camping trip, and that's what I'm going to stitch. So I'm going to make big progress on that camping trip. But in the meantime, though, I am prepping each block as it comes. So all I'm going to have to do, it's going to be the most epically relaxing camping trip ever, because all I'm going to be doing is stitching my blocks. Not a bunch of product with me, just the thread. So I got my next, oh, and by the way, don't anyone tell Lisa this is the way I'm doing it, okay? I don't want her to cut me off before I've gotten all the blocks of the week. So, but what I am doing is I receive my block of the weeks, I open it up, it sparks joy, and I have been prepping the freebie. I love free stuff. I don't care what people say that, oh, well, the cost is already bulked into everything. No, for me, it's free. See, look at, this would make a really cute outfit, wouldn't it? So there they are. The first 2 are done. I'm going to, and I have even prepped with the SF101 on the back, prepped and stitched these, because these are easy peasy to stitch. I haven't done the embellishment on them, but I've stitched them down. So I am going to be stitching that. Oh, I like this background of this next one. So that's what's, that I will prep and stitch. That's easy. But this, I'm going to just prep. And I like having it this way because then I really feel like I've made progress just having it ready to stitch. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not sure why I got this other ball of thread, but hey, I've never turned down a quilting donut ever. So, oh, and I love this wool. Yeah, Lisa does some awesome wool in her kits. Look at that. Oh. And she is really going to town on the stitching. Yeah, one of the subscribers told me that the stitching was kind of challenging, but Oh, I just love it. It really makes the project pop. Yes. Yeah, that Sue Spargo started something, didn't she? So that is what I'm doing. I'm sparking joy in my life. And I hope I see you at Fika Coffee on Quilt Show Day. If not, I'll put you on my calendar for next year. In the meantime, have a great time stitching. Relax and enjoy the company of other quilters. They seem to be the sanest people out there.
Thanks for watching.
And be sure to like and subscribe on Quilt Roadies.